everybody out there, all you groovers from all over the world, in the big USA, in the big UK, in the big anywhere where you live, I want you to tune into a guy. This guy has got it. Who else do you know has got a name called Brad Von Rock? Because this guy rocks. But not only does he rock, he's from actually an island with rocks. He's from Tasmania, and I'm from Melbourne, and he's just across the water. The Tasman, across the road from the Tasman. How you going, Brad?
Wolfman Plastic, how are you?
But you just called me Plastic. Whoa. I love those statements. Now listen, we're going to rock it up for the people that are home doing nothing. Are you happy to take the Plastic EP Music Challenge?
I'm ready. Throw it at me. What you got?
All right. Let's go with, I want to hold your hand. Let's rock it up.
Come on, Plastic.
No, you sing it.
Oh, yeah. Tell you something.
Do-do-do-do-do.
You'll understand when come on, next. What else?
Come on, sing it. I want to hold your hand.
Oh, no. I want to hold your hand. I want to hold your hand.
Okay, I saw her standing there. Come on, let's rock it up.
She was just 17. Well, you know what I mean. And the way she looked was way beyond compare. Now how could I dance with another? Oh, and I saw her standing there.
All right, get ready for this one. The best things in life are free, but you can keep them for the birds and bees.
I need them. Yeah. That's what I want.
That's what I want.
That's what I want. Oh, yeah.
That's what I want. Yeah. Now, a bit of Norwegian wood for the people that are sleeping.
It's early in the morning, Plastic.
I know, it's only, 11:30?
I know, rock and roll in the morning is, we drink a lot of gin in Tasmania, so this is...
Hey, Brad, I'd have you in any band. I'd have you in any band I do, man, because you rock.
And when I awoke, I was alone. Plastic had flown. So I lit a fire. Isn't it good? Norwegian wood. Did I pass the audition?
You passed the audition. You're in Let It Be now. No problem. Now listen, I know you are the biggest Beatles fan in Tasmania. And that is right, isn't it, Brad?
I'm up there. There's a few of us. I'm up there in the top 5, I'd say.
Now, Brad, I want you to
Paul Wells from Penny. Yeah, sorry, go Plastic.
I want you to show me some of your fantastic Beatles collection now. You were telling me about your dad and a fantastic album. Tell me how your dad got that album, the White Album, and show us the White Album.
Well, my dad lived in Melbourne. He was a Sandringham mod rocker. So in the 60s, all the mods used to have a gang. They'd all travel up Beach Road. They'd follow all the bands. The bands would play 20-minute sets. So the Loved Ones, Easy Beats, and he collected all the records. I was born in 76, and he had this enormous record collection. And so when I was 3-4 years old, I'd discover things like the White Album. What have I got? What number is it? There we go.
It's 05473.
Now, so back when a Beatles record would come out in the 60s in Melbourne, you would put an order in at Myer, or you would go in and line up. He would line up in lines of hundreds of kids to be the first people to get a copy. So I've got pretty much all the Beatles records, and he lined up in the city in Melbourne to get them before anyone else had them.
Yeah, I'll just say
So
Myers is a department store, just so they know.
yeah, and I think there's you'd get your records from there. The first release, the boxes had come in and they'd have it first. But so obviously the first thing I learned how to do was put a needle on a record player, very, very young, and I had enormous records to listen to. But in Christmas of 1980, this came out. Oh, hang on. This is the Beatles box. And I'm what they call one of the Beatles box kids. So I got this, and it starts. It's the most beautiful collection for me. I love this more than anything. But so imagine at Christmas, I pull this out. It's got the first album, and it goes through every single album, all the best stuff.
Can I have a look at the covers? Brad, show us the covers. I've never seen it.
Record 1.
Yep.
Record 2.
Yep.
With the beautiful Gibson there. Record 3, we're on to Help.
Yep.
Record 4, we're heading into Rubber Soul territory. Paperback Writer. Or no, hang on. Yeah, Rubber Soul. Record 5, we're into Paperback Writer, Eleanor Rigby. So into that middle 60s Revolver stage. Yep. We're on to Sgt. Pepper's. Record 6. White Album, Record 7. And then we end up right at the end where it's got all the sort of Abbey Road stuff. So as a kid, at 5 years old, I understood the whole chronology of the Beatles, and there was Beatlemania videos, and I just, it's literally all I did. I played records and I watched videos, and I became a Beatles fanatic. And I will never forget, one of the biggest memories of my life was the night I walked into my mum's ironing, and mum and dad are watching the TV, and they look upset, and I said, what's happened? And they said, John Lennon's been shot. And he was my biggest hero in the whole world. So I'm, from child, just really connected to the Beatles, and I've been a fan, and I will be for the rest of my life. Yeah. And I just collect it, consume everything Beatles plastic.
That's fantastic. Let me tell you, I like the 1968 White Album photos behind you that came in the record. You got the original ones there. That's amazing.
They're the original ones. I had all the Sgt. Pepper's cutouts, but as a kid, I cut them all out, and I don't know where they are now. So I've got the original Sgt. Pepper's, but yeah, long gone is all the cutouts from inside there, which is a shame.
Brad, can I have a look at the EPs behind you? The Australian EP and the English one? Yeah, pull them out.
Well, so I had a heap of 45s, but because I was a kid, like, I don't look after things. I play them, but I've still got, like, this. So this is from when I was a kid. I would have been listening to this when I was 3 and 4 years old, and this is an Australian Parlophone release. But you know, sort of over time, I've ended up getting, this is an English Parlophone releases, and I like all the different variants. There's one I've got, I'll never forget. I had Hey Jude. I had Let It Be on a single, and I'll never forget, after the guitar solo, there was a scratch, and it would go, let it be, let it be, let it be. And I'd sit there and the record would get stuck on these little 45s.
Hey, it's lucky you're not playing it backwards and it's going number 9, number 9, number 9. Were you looking for clues? Were you looking for all the clues on the albums?
Yeah, well, on Sgt. Pepper's, I think I broke, you know, the record player's got the rubber band. I'd sort of stop it and try and play the middle bit backwards. Well, Paul, be back here, Superman. I've broken a lot of record players. Rain, playing that one backwards. Yeah.
Do you know Rain? I rate Rain as one of the greatest Beatles singles, and so underrated. And even Ringo picked that song as his drumming was unbelievable, and he made it like I didn't even know I was drumming that, like it was somebody else. It was that fantastic.
Yeah, and of course, when you hear Rain, it's completely slowed down. So I like the original recording, which is at the proper speed. But Ringo's drumming on that, it's like try. Look, I play drums. I'm a guitarist and pianist, but I learned how to play drums by watching Ringo. And I used to dress up as Ringo as a kid and had pots and pans, and I'd go, you sort of playing, doing the thing. But that song, you try and understand what he's playing in that. I'd actually just listen to a podcast about dissecting Ringo's playing. It's a study in itself. He's influenced all drummers, whether they realize it or not.
Now, I just want to say your other albums. Is there any particular albums behind you want to show us?
Do you know what I want to show you, Plastic? Because
Please.
you and I have one thing in common. We're both monkeys freaks. Can we talk about the monkeys for a second?
Of course. Of course.
Okay. Now, do you know, okay, Plastic, what was the first Monkeys song you ever heard when you were a kid? Can you remember?
I got to tell you first. Last Train to Clarksville was the single. That was the A-side. The first song came out. But did you know Saturday's Child was slated as the A-side single to be released? And then they recorded Last Train to Clarksville, and they said, no. Last Train to Clarksville is better. Let's make that the A single.
Yeah. Well, my one was I had Daydream Believer as a 45. But the thing is, I turned it over, and do you know what was on the B side of Daydream Believer? Going Down.
Yeah.
Mickey Dolenz, Going Down.
Yeah, I got it.
Now, that blew my mind. To this day is one of my favorite songs, and I swear the Monkees invented heavy metal with Stepping Stone and songs like that. But my favorite movie of all time, Plastic,
is Head.
And this
are you there, Bradley?
Is one of my
Bradley, look at this.
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's it. That's the 45 I had as a kid.
That's the original.
Yeah.
That's the original. Came out.
I put on Going Down first. And I went, what is this?
Hey, I was a young kid going to school, and I learnt the words to that. I killed myself to learn the words, and that was a tongue twister. But let me tell you, this is the first EP that came out on the Monkees in Australia. 4 songs, right? Theme to the Monkees, Saturday's Child, Tomorrow's Going to Be Another Day, and Take a Giant Step. And my favourite song was Tomorrow's Going to Be Another Day, just so you know.
That's, yeah.
That's my favourite album.
I got this, I reckon I got this at Brash.
Yeah, I got that too. Glenn A. Baker put that out.
Yeah, that was an Australian one, wasn't it?
Do you remember this one?
It's got some. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, a psychedelic one. Yeah, that is out there. Oh, and you know, there's so many different versions of Valerie. It's hard to pick which one's my favorite. There's the one with the Spanish guitar.
That's right. That was done by Louis Sheldon, who lives in Queensland.
So true. That's there. I've forgotten about that. That's
and
right.
Also he played the riff on Last Train to Clarksville. That guy is a legend. I'm hoping to interview him one day.
He was the Wrecking Crew guy, wasn't he?
He
played on hundreds and thousands of records.
People should look up Louis Sheldon. Go on Facebook, check him out. Check out where he's selling his CDs. He played with all major artists, you know. Michael Jackson, he's like huge. Love the guy.
I had these as well, and I never got the whole set.
That's all right. I'm the same.
Anyway, going back to the Beatles, and I like there's obvious connections, but my prized possession in the 1990s was this. Eat the Document, Bob Dylan. Now, of course, with YouTube and the internet now, the footage on here is easily accessible. But back in, like before the internet, it was very hard to get footage. And I'd always heard about this footage of John Lennon and Bob Dylan around 65 in the back of John Lennon's limousine, just as, we don't know, was it acid, did they just have a big joint, whatever's kicking in, but they're starting to trip out and someone put the camera on them. Now, this movie had the full footage, and I never forget, as a kid, I'd sit there and go, wow, it's Bob Dylan and John Lennon, and you're watching Bob Dylan fall to pieces, and you're seeing the genius of John Lennon's mind as he's just completely putting Bob Dylan into stitches that he cannot control himself. And you realize what a powerful person and what.
Can I just say one story there? I don't know if you've heard this story. You ready for it?
Please.
Bob Dylan meets the Beatles. And he's talking to John, I believe, right? And he goes, hey, man, I dig your song. He goes, which one? The one where you sing, I get high, I get high, I get high.
Yep. I like on the Ed Sullivan show where Ed Sullivan had said, you better not say I get high. And Paul McCartney's going, now I've got that in my head, but he's very pronouncing the words so it cannot be mistaken. What are they saying in that? I can't hide. He's going, I can't hide.
Yeah, but he thought they were singing high.
Yeah.
I like your mug there too.
Oh,
the
thank
guitar
you.
mug, that's a ripper.
Yeah.
Now listen, is there anything else you want to say on the Beatles?
Now, Plastic, I'm glad we're talking, and we all around the world, we all connect, us Beatle freaks. But one thing, I'm a Tasmanian musician. I play in a rock group called the Heartbeats. We play dances around Tasmania. We play all British Invasion, all sort of bubblegum US 60s pop. And we're in the process. We're putting together a Beatles show, and we always do. 3 years ago, we had a big band formed in Tasmania, 10-piece show. We did the whole Sgt. Pepper's album with a collective of musicians. We've got a lot of Beatles fans here. But me personally, in the next 2-3 years, I'm working towards, I want to hold a Beatles convention in Tasmania. I want to have people like you come over. We can do interviews, have collectors, have bands, musicians playing Beatles songs. So that's something we're, like down here in Tassie, I'm working towards, and we're going to keep connected. Obviously, with everything that's going on, all plans have changed. But my big dream is to hold a Beatles convention in Tasmania and get guys like you to come down, and we'll get you on
Brad,
stage.
I reckon you'll get it. And I'll tell you what, I've never been to Tasmania, but if I get invited to come, it's like 95% I'm there, all right, just to tell you.
We will look after you, Plastic.
It's okay.
What do you
it's all right.
I'll have a bottle of ouzo waiting for you.
You know my parents are Greek. Don't try and bribe me, okay? It's all right. Don't worry.
Gala.
Now, listen. I know that you speak a bit of Greek, don't you?
I was in a Melbourne band. I was in the one band, the one Aussie with 3 Greeks. I've never had to duck so many flying pieces of equipment in my life. But yeah, I picked up mainly swear words, but I could speak a bit of Greek. I was in a band with, we were called the Band Who Shagged Me, and we traveled all around Victoria, playing all the RSLs, doing all 60s psychedelic music. So yeah, hi to we had Chris, Billy, Katarina. Taganis.
Unbelievable. Have you been to Greece?
Oh, I would love to go to Greece. I like raka. Is it the raka, the table wine you drink? Yeah. No, it's a big plan. I want to go to the islands. It's a dream of mine.
If anything you got to do, you got to go to Greece. That's all I'm going to say. I'm lucky enough. I've been 3 times to the US, and that's the place to go. Go to Greece. Now, anything else you want to say about the Beatles?
Sorry, what was that, Plastic?
Anything else you want to say about the Beatles?
I just want to say that, I'm an artist who, I perform on the Spirit of Tasmania. I play gigs all over Tassie, and 2 months ago I was the busiest person around. Then overnight, bang, or we sort of stopped playing. So it's been a really difficult time. And a shout out to Paul Wells, the bass player in my band, Stephen Pugh. We were gigging 3 nights a week, rehearsing another night, and then overnight, bang. And we couldn't even see each other. So one thing that's got me through this is I've been able to go back and I've been listening to all the Beatles stuff. And this is it. This is what I'm going to say. Plastic, it's the levels at which you can get into the Beatles. As a child, I liked the way they looked. I liked the songs. As an adult, I can listen to the heartfelt meanings. I can read the books about their lives. There is so many levels in which a person can engage with the Beatles and their work that I know I'm on board with this for the rest of my life because I can never tire of it. So we're some of the luckiest people in the world. It was the golden age of music.
Brad, can I tell you a story? Okay, because you're a big Monkeys fan like me. Agreed?
Agreed.
Okay, now, this is true. Here's the original Australian single of I Am the Walrus. Do you see that?
Yeah.
On the flip side is Hello, Goodbye. This song, I Am the Walrus, came out in 1967, and I'm at state school at Auburn South High State School in Taronga Road, Hawthorne East. I just want to say that. And I'm in the playground, and someone's got a transistor radio, and they're playing I Am the Walrus. Now, I'm into the Monkeys, and I'm hearing music that was alien. I thought it was like, this is alien. What's this choo-choo-choo, whatever, right? And I'm the Walrus, and I'm the Walrus. Yellow matter Custer, and what is he talking about? Like at the time, it was so unique and so different that you thought it was from the aliens in Mars. I'm dead set.
Well, and let's transition back to Money. What about the Porpoise song? You a fan of the Porpoise song?
Yeah, From the Head.
Carol, written by Carole King. If you're ever bored, check out Carole King's original demo. But yeah, that is a direct lineage to I Am the Walrus, that psychedelic sound. You're right. And there's another level. There's a dream level. There's a subconscious level where you can listen to this music. And they influence. The reason I love the Monkeys is because they were being influenced by the Beatles, and they had these great musicians that were experimenting with any style and avant-garde. So sometimes you can sit there and go off into a dream, and there's another level. You don't need drugs. You don't need drugs to listen and to, I guess,
appreciate it.
Which is a beautiful thing,
Brad, I've got to say, the movie Head, there's your perfect example. The whole movie makes no sense. I'll give you an example. The movie Head comes out, they've got a guy standing on a wall, and they superimpose the word head. No pictures of the Monkeys, no nothing. I mean, is that a great way to promote the Monkeys? Or let's say, to kill off the Monkeys? So anyway, I've been watching the show. I live here in Melbourne, right, East Hawthorne. I see a movie, The Monkeys, Head. I go there at the Forum Theatre in Flinders Street. I'm a little kid. I begged my auntie to take me with the tram. I went there. It was sold out. I couldn't go and see the movie. There were so many people outside. And I was like so disappointed that I couldn't see it because I'm like a great Monkeys fan. And then I ended up going to see a movie instead called Where Angels Tread, Something Follows. Like it was a real disappointment in 1968.
Is it true, Plastic? Did Head basically put a complete nail in the coffin because all the little kids went to watch it and they went, what the hell is this? And all the older cool kids went, we're not going to go see a Monkeys movie. So they kind of and of course it was Jack Nicholson was behind all of that weird stuff. But apparently they could just completely miss their audience. The kids went going, what are we watching? And all the ones they wanted to go didn't turn up to see it. But how old would have you been? You would have been pretty young.
I was 8 to 9. But let me tell you, actually, in 1968, I was 9 to 10. But let me tell you, that movie is a classic. Doesn't matter what it was at the time and no one understood it. Over time, it's actually a classic. It makes no sense at all. Don't go watching a movie.
I don't like to say this, but I would watch Head any day over Magical Mystery Tour. Head is a masterpiece. Magical Mystery Tour, that's got even less of a plot, but Head's got some genius in it. The footage of them playing Circle Sky live. Oh my God, that's heavy rock. That's heavy rock before it was happening. Like, wow.
Let me go back to Magical Mystery Tour. I don't know if you know this story. They're filming the show, and they got the big coach, the Magical Mystery coach. It's going to take them wherever. And they start going through these country roads. And there's one particular road where the bridge is so narrow, it's just a little bridge for a car. It's a little stone bridge. Nothing fancy. And people said, don't go down this road with the bridges. They went, they got the bus stuck in the bridge. Right? And they held up all the traffic. And that was the Magical Mystery Tour for a couple of hours while they figured out how they could get the bus out of the bridge, because it was so narrow that the bridge stuck there. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Look, I love watching it. I mean, the album, I've got it right here. I mean, it's like, I love the album. It's a great period of music. There's some,
I've got incredible. I've got the EP with the two little 45s. That's rare. I got a mint copy, never played.
Yeah, right. See, it never ends, does it?
Now, Brett, I just want to say, we've spoken about the Beatles. Now, I'm going to shock people and tell them that you're also in an ABBA band. I want you to tell me a little bit about it, but not too much, because we want to come back with another episode of ABBA, okay? So who do you play in ABBA, and what's the name of the band?
Hello. Oh, it's a phone call.
Don't worry.
Ring, ring. Who is giving you a call? No, I play Benny. And hello to everybody in Australia. We love you. But yeah, we'll definitely come back. Look, if any person out there tries to tell you that ABBA is not one of the great bands, and I'll tell you why. Because Benny and Bjorn were Lennon and McCartney fanatics. What they set out to do was to be a songwriting team with Stig, their manager, because they couldn't speak very good English. But they were basically, the ABBA is an extension of the Beatles. They set out to write great popular music, which is what the Beatles did. So for me, I put ABBA in one of the top 5 bands, and to me, it's not a kitsch thing. It's not a funny thing. They are a genuinely great band. So, and that's why with Paul, Stevie, and the girls, we've got Kate and Amy who sing in that band. We do it because we love it. And when we get up, we don't do a hello. We do a full rock show like you're going to see ABBA in Sydney at the Sydney Cricket Ground or wherever it was. So the Super Troopers, everybody, we're a rock band, and we're playing ABBA.
What's the name of the band? What's the name of the ABBA band?
The Super Troopers. We should come on, Plastic. Will you have the Super Troopers on?
Of course I'll have the Super Troopers. Now, you know what I like? I don't want to talk too much, but you know what? All these hardcore metal people, I've seen movies and that, it's so funny, and interviews where people go, they're real hardcore and they're dressed in their gear hardcore with their clothes, and they go, do you know I love ABBA? Like,
yeah, because it's neoclassical music, because Benny was like a genius. Yeah.
Everyone loves ABBA. That's what I would say. Australia loved ABBA in 1976. The biggest thing was ABBA. ABBA mania here.
Yeah.
Now, Brad. Yeah, that's it. The original single. Fantastic. Now, Brad, I've got to say, Brad Von Rock, all I'm going to say is Plastic EP says you rock, and I'm sure all the world are going to know that you rock, and you keep rocking there in Tasmania, and anybody who doesn't know where Tasmania is, look up the map of Australia, and it's under Melbourne. There's water that separates
Just go
us.
south.
Thank
Turn
you.
south at Melbourne.
Go south, young man. Now listen, Brad, it's been my pleasure. Just grab your guitar and take us out with a verse. Right, it's got to be a Beatles song as we're saving Abbott for the other one. Just give me a verse of a Beatles song. And from Plastic EP and Brad Von Rock, he's going to rock you out. Let's go.
I once had a girl, or should I say, she once had me. I've forgotten the words. Peace and love.
Peace and love, everyone. See ya from Melbourne, Australia, and Tasmania, Australia. How's the kangaroos going down there, Brad?